Hi, this is Mike Madoda and you're listening to the ZiFM Sport Podcast.
Z.
It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
Party Friday, Fire Friday, call it whatever you like. The party begins right here on ZiFM Sport. Music by Martin Garrix featuring Bon. And we conclude the story of Yvonne Chaka Chaka in our play of the day. That comes smack bang in the middle of the show. Halftime, we call it. But before that, we would have taken you on a trip around the world, starting here at home where Makepekepe Caps United are targeting a top 4 finish as we count down to the start of the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League season 2019. The Highlanders battle past the Reds this morning, but it's the New Zealand derby between the Hurricanes and the Crusaders that headlines this weekend's action in Super Rugby. Then in the second half of the show, it's all about the beautiful game, and the biggest rivalry in the Premier League football takes centre stage as Liverpool make the short trip down the northwest to take on Manchester United at Old Trafford. To talk you through all those stories and more is the team. Barry Menandi, Mark Pozzo, Alois Munjira, Chris Gray, and myself, Mike Madoda. Our producer behind the desk is Sean Tafirinyika. It should be a good one.
The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis. From Rufaro to Barberfields, Mandava to Nyamunga, all the perfect moments in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League come together on ZiFM Sport.
All right, mobile network company Net1 has given Harare football giants Caps United a target of a top 4 finish as one of the conditions before the resumption of a new partnership ahead of the start of the new campaign next month. Net1 have been the principal sponsors of Dynamos, Caps United and Highlanders in the last campaign, where they took care of players' salaries, among other things. Caps are remolding a team which they believe can deliver honours this term. Let's hear from head coach Lloyd Chitembwe.
Yeah, the competition in the PSL has always been very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. We're going to have a very, very difficult season, but so far so good. And in as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure we do have targets just like any other team. And for us, obviously, like right now at this stage of the season, our immediate target is to make the team and the players fit. And obviously, thereafter, we want to have a team that is quite competitive, and I believe we have what it takes to be that competitive, and eventually, obviously, win games. And when we win games, we stand a good chance of winning things.
Lloyd Chitembwe, of course, he had lots of signings last season at Caps United, but flattered to deceive because the team, I would say, based on the roster that they had, underachieved. Would you say the same, Mike?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I thought Caps United would have had a bit more fight than they showed last season. Mm-hmm. I think they were knocked out of the title race far too early for a team of Caps United's stature. They had decent players and they should have seen it out, but we don't know, of course, what was happening behind the scenes. It looked like they lacked the stability behind the scenes to actually mount a title challenge. But I have a feeling this time out, Caps United, they've got a couple of players in their ranks, amongst them the speed merchant, Phineas Bamusi, who's returned from Triangle, and we know what a big difference he was for Makepekepe during that season when they won the league as well as did so well in the CAF Champions League. So I think Lloyd Chitembwe, yes, talking his team's chances down, but I think he knows that more is expected from his team, and the fans will be expecting at least a title tilt.
As we know, Caps United and under Lloyd Chitembwe have been assessing a number of players in the off-season, and he said that he's been impressed by former Dynamo's trio of Valentine Daba, Carlos Ruseri and goalkeeper Tunderai Mateaunga. Now, having that stature and sort of player, we know, I think Milton Ngube has rejoined the side bunch after his move to Harare City didn't come off. Having that sort of player in your ranks, you've always got a chance, don't you?
Yeah, I think, like Mike said, I think Caps United have got a very good squad. Disappointing last season, but I understand what was happening at Caps United. I think they went flat. They went flat where it made at most they didn't have that outlet like Phineas Bamusi, of which I actually think that they are now much better. Now they've got two side players that are very fast that can actually help them, because that was the hallmark of Lloyd Chitembwe's game plan. He used to do that, to have Phineas Bamusi going down, then the best out of their defensive third. So I say
they've got two speed merchants. Who's the other one?
Yes, there's Gabriel Nyoni. Now they got Gabriel Nyoni from Highlanders. He's going to be operating from the other wing. I watched them training a bit in one of the days, and they are looking good. Like we said, last season they had a good squad. I think the morale was very low, especially towards the end of the second half of the season. So I believe that this year, as much as he might talk down the chances, I think deep down he knows that everybody is expecting them to mount a serious challenge for the championship.
Well, both you gentlemen have talked about the fact that the things in the Caps United camp last season weren't exactly all cushy. Well, they seem to have not been they seem to have been the same at the start of this preseason, because we heard reports about industrial action being conducted by the players. But Namu Tutisani, who's the vice president, says that the players were not on strike. He says our players are not on strike. They've been training as usual, but of course they want their dues. So we've been engaged in dialogue, and they have been cooperative. They have been coming to training. We're still negotiating with our sponsor, so this has caused the delay in payment of the players' dues. But the good thing is that our players have been very understanding and are coming for training as usual. And once we are done with our sponsors, they will be paid. We've seen a bit of a delay in the conclusion of those contractual negotiations with Net1, with all the big three. Chris, could it have been perhaps we've just seen the return of the CEO who had been put on suspension at Net1? Perhaps that might speed up things, because it was him who was almost at the forefront of signing those deals with these big teams.
It might speed up things, but for me that's not enough for a club. For me, I don't think you can just wait for the sponsors and say, oh, we're in dialogue, and when a sponsor decides, to give us a little something, then we'll be able to give the player something. I think that works for a little bit, but if there is further industrial action, you can't start a season with players in industrial action on strike. So I think that doesn't bode well for the rest of the season if they are pinning their entire hopes on a sponsor. Like you said, the return of their CEO is a great move for them, and I think, just looking at the way he has dealt with the other clubs as well, it looks like a little sign of him that, he's demanding a top 4 finish, to say, look, in order for us to keep pumping our money into this, we need to see our brand represented a lot better, and a top 4 finish could do that for us.
Certainly. News of Caps United kicking off today's edition of ZiFM Sport. When we get back, some swimming, cricket and bodybuilding with Pos.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Chitembwe. You're listening to ZiFM Sports.
Right, we start with swimming and the rest of our local sports news roundup. Zimbabwe's junior swimmers put up an impressive show at the Kana Zone 4 Swimming Championships held in Windhoek, Namibia, scooping 36 medals. The Zimbabwean team brought home 13 gold, 11 silver and 12 bronze medals to finish in overall 4th position on the medals tally. The curtain came down on Wednesday for this year's edition, with the South African team topping the medal table with a total of 102 medals across 3 disciplines. To cricket, and the Tuskers will be hoping to put up an improved show to make up for a woeful Logan Cup performance when they take on Rhinos in 2 Pro 50 Championship matches at Queen's Sports Club this weekend. Tuskers finished at the bottom of the Logan Cup table after failing to win any of their 6 matches. The Bulawayo-based franchise will be hoping for better fortunes against Rhinos from Kwekwe when they meet at Queen's Sports Club. In bodybuilding, local bodybuilding enthusiasts are bracing up for this year's GS Classics and Fitness Expo, which will be held at the weekend at the Fitness for Her Gym at Harare's Highland Shopping Mall. It will be the first time GS Classics host the championship, with various bodybuilders expected to battle it out for honours. National Federation of Zimbabwe Bodybuilding and Fitness, NFZBF Secretary General Quiet Shanghai said he was expecting an exciting event.
Can I meet the Queen in London? Is it true that Paris has the best food in the world? Where's the best selfie spot for the Eiffel Tower? What is tapas exactly? What does tapas taste like? Where do I eat it in Barcelona? Is everyone blonde in Stockholm? Can I talk with hand gestures in Italy? And in Athens, is Greek yogurt only called yogurt?
The best way to find answers to all your questions is to go there. Fly Emirates to 42 destinations across Europe. Visit emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Is unlike TV. Quest the place they entertain all day. Online streaming channels on your TV. For kids, entertainment. Movies, sports, and music. Gaming, travel, and more. Premium entertainment on Quest the Play. TV. On TV, yeah. Press the play, they entertain all day. Press the play, it's unlike TV. It's unlike TV. Press the play, they entertain all day.
Get your Quessa Play device for just $59. Quessa Play, it's unlike TV. From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Dylan Hunt scored a match-winning try with 6 minutes left as the Otago Highlanders once again fought back to record a 36-31 victory in their Super Rugby game against the Queensland Reds in Dunedin. The Highlanders, who had to rally against the Chiefs last week before going on to win 30-27, got 2 tries from Shannon Frizzell, while Rob Thompson and Ben Smith, the amazing Ben Smith, also crossed the line. Tomorrow, Dane Coles is backing his Hurricanes troops to conquer the Crusaders in Christchurch, despite the absence of 4 All Blacks from the starting lineup. The Hurricanes will face the defending champions Borden Barrett and Adi Savea, while TJ Perenara and Ngani Laumape have been named on the bench. Let's hear from Coles, who has confidence the Canes will upset the Crusaders.
You know, we know what we're up against, and it's an awesome challenge for this group, and a few changes. So a lot of guys that probably didn't think they'd be getting to start got the opportunity to start, which is awesome, and I think it's just a reward for all the hard work they put in pre-season with Dupes and Sammy Hemwood and Fletch, and so mate, we're looking forward to it. You know, they're a quality side, and you know, it's going to be we just got to go out and have a crack and give it a good go. Yeah. You've got to dig pretty deep into your well for your team to go pretty deep in this competition. So mate, whoever's given the opportunity, like just because Finn hasn't got 60 All Black caps for the All Blacks and stuff like that, doesn't make this team any lesser. So I've got absolute confidence in those boys they can go in, and we can bring TJ off the bench, Nani off the bench, and add a good impact. And so it's just the way it is, and I'm confident. But like I said, it's a big challenge, but we're really looking forward to it.
All Blacks welfare protocols have forced the Hurricanes and Crusaders to field weakened teams and strip the Super Rugby contest of some notable one-on-one duels with World Cup implications. Now, Crusaders backliner Ryan Crotty expects a stiff challenge from the Canes.
I think that just shows the trust that they have in their squad. You know, they got quality men right throughout, and it's always probably one of the biggest challenges of the year when we come up against these guys. So it's exciting. The boys get excited for it, but certainly not taking them lightly. Like you alluded to, the new combinations. But mate, we just got to get there and do our jobs.
These are 2 heavyweight teams, Mark, from New Zealand. The Crusaders, of course, are the most successful team in Super Rugby, and the Hurricanes, the most exciting team in Super Rugby.
Indeed, and they're both going in with weakened sides tomorrow. And incidentally, the Crusaders have played the Hurricanes 35 times in Super Rugby since its inception in 1996, and the Crusaders have won 20 matches. So it favours the Crusaders, both playing second-string sides, as we would say tomorrow. I still believe the Crusaders will sneak this, but it won't be by a big margin.
Well, the Hurricanes, Barry, have always the team, I think, that's best reflected New Zealand rugby in terms of how they approach the game, with flair, with fun, with a lot of speed and with panache. But the Crusaders, I think, have become the latter-day All Blacks, because we've seen the All Blacks decide to add structure and systems to their gifts and their talents. And the Crusaders, I think, reflect this current All Black side probably more than the Hurricanes, who used to reflect the yesteryear All Black sides.
Yeah, certainly. That's a great assessment in the sense that the Crusaders, when they go about their business, are very efficient as they go about their business. The Canes, there's a lot more flair about it, and you can tell. I mean, anytime you can call on TJ Perinara and Gani Laumape off the bench as impact players, then you've got something in your arsenal. Those two players are very much X-factor players. So should be an exciting contest. I know they're weekend sides, but I'm still expecting a great game of rugby between these two sides.
Apart from that fixture, there are four other fixtures this weekend in Super Rugby. The Brumbies, the ACT Brumbies, will take on the Waikato Chiefs. The Sharks take on the Blues. Stormers versus Lions, and the Jaguares will take on the Blue Bulls.
To the Six Nations this weekend, round 3, France up against Scotland, Wales against England, and on Sunday it's Italy up against Ireland.
Hi, I'm JC Krill, Springbok and Blue Bulls backline player. You are listening to ZiFM Sports.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We take off in Mexico, where Rory McIlroy found high-altitude golf to his liking as he opened the WGC Mexico Championship with a sublime 63 to earn the outright lead on day one. McIlroy's all-round game was an excellent order throughout, bar one blemish at the par 5-6 as he hit 17 out of 18 greens in regulation and backed up his precise approach play with some assured putting. The WGC Mexico Championship continues right throughout the weekend. Over to the US, LeBron James scored 29 points as the Los Angeles Lakers fought back from a 19-point deficit to stun the Houston Rockets 111-106 at the Staples Center. Giannis Antetokounmpo recovered from a slow start to score 30 points and grab 13 rebounds as the Milwaukee Bucks returned from the All-Star break to earn a 98-97 victory over the visiting Boston Celtics. This weekend's NBA action is headlined by the Rockets' visit to the Bay Area to take on the defending champions, the Golden State Warriors. Touching down in South Africa in the second test between South Africa and Sri Lanka, Kagiso Rabada's 4-wicket haul earned South Africa a 68-run first innings lead, but Sri Lanka's quick hit back to pin the host down to 128. Sri Lanka require 197 runs to win at stumps. Sri Lanka are 60 for 2. That means they require another 137 runs with 8 wickets remaining.
The Daily Sports Trivia question is brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, your feed and farm professionals.
Indeed, every single day when we are here, and we are here every single day of the week, you just needed to send us your hashtag Profeeds Trivia. What we then did was we called one lucky listener back, and you had to answer 2 questions, one local and one international. If you answered both correct, and you had to get both correct, you would be our daily winner and would go into the hat, in inverted commas, the hat that will draw today our monthly winner. And our monthly winner is walking away this month with a Capri double door 290 litre fridge. The fact that we are drawing today doesn't mean that the Daily Sports Trivia ends today. Next month we'll have a bigger, better prize. So stand by. I see some have already sent through their hashtags. Today we haven't got questions.
A bit too late.
Today it's just about the winner.
It's a bit too late for this particular prize, but I think there's a big winner we have, Chris, even before we actually do the draw, and that is Letitia Evans from Harare. She's the only lady in the draw.
And you know what that says, Mike? That says that you guys are sexist.
No.
It does.
If they don't send their hashtags, they don't get it.
And if they don't answer their questions correctly, they don't get into the draw.
Let it be a challenge, I think, to the ladies, all the ladies and the girls who are listening. You got to represent, guys. Call us. Send us your hashtags. We'll call you back. back and, up your game as far as sport is concerned.
You can send me a tweet. I'll send you the answers. We've got this, guys.
Maybe not, Chris. But I think we've made it relatively simpler this month because what we've been doing is asking questions from our content. So if you've been listening into the show, in the first half of the show, you would have got the answers.
Absolutely.
So all you need to do is pay attention, and then you'll get it. And of course, we got lots of people who are in the draw from around the country. In Shurugwi, we have Love Mo Shuri. Out in Bulawayo, Mike Chakaduka. We've got participants from Mashingo, Kariba, Dema Growth Point, Mutare, that's Ryan Maruva, and of course the delightfully named organizer, Chemoro. Pause. Are you going to do the honors first?
Okay, I'll do the honors, courtesy of Profeeds.
And
It is
Chris is going to get a bit of a shake.
Sean, our producer, is filming it all, and all the names are in the box, Chris, right? Okay.
There we go. Pause gives it a 12.
Away,
Oh, who's the winner? Oh, who's the winner?
Right.
Who's the winner? Shucks.
The winner from Harare, it is Francis Muvimwa.
Oh, congratulations to Francis.
He's a regular contributor,
And we certainly hope that he buys all his stock feeds from Pro Feeds. Francis will be getting hold of you to come through and collect that magnificent prize, courtesy of Pro Feeds, the Capri Double Door 290-litre fridge.
The Daily Sports Trivia question was brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, the performance feed.
It's unlike TV. Quest a place they entertain all day. Online streaming channels on your TV. For kids, entertainment. Movies, sports, and music. Gaming, travel, and more. Premium entertainment on Quest to Play. Watch it all, find it all. Quest to Play. It's unlike TV. Unlike TV, yeah. Quest to Play, stay entertained all day. Quest to Play. It's unlike TV. Unlike TV. Quest to Play, stay entertained all day.
Get your Quessa Play device for just $59. Quessa Play. It's unlike TV.
Stay up to date with the latest sporting action and the freshest lineup of on-demand sports on Kwese iFlix. Immerse yourself. Bask in the glory of pulsating action anywhere, anytime. Welcome to the beautiful game on ZiFM Stereo. Brought to you by Kwese iFlix.
Quessa iFlix. Entertainment on the go. All the rivalry.
Likes the touch paper. It is blue touch paper. Always him on Derby Day.
All the stars.
Absolutely brilliant again from Mo Salah. The twinkling feet, the ice cold finish, the Egyptian on fire.
And all the game-changing moments.
Aguero!
All the updates from the Premier League on ZiFM Sport.
This is the league we want to watch.
All right, in England, Chelsea have been banned from signing players for 2 transfer windows after being found guilty of breaching rules about signing minors by FIFA. The Premier League club have also been fined more than £460,000, while the FA face a £390,000 sanction. The FA will appeal the fine, citing concerns with FIFA's disciplinary process. The club were found guilty of 29 incidences of breaching Article 19, which relates to the transfer of players under the age of 18. My goodness, Chelsea can ill afford this ban because right now we've been talking endlessly, incessantly about the squad renewal that's required at Stamford Bridge, and this will mean that they can't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm more concerned with the FA's reaction, which is to throw the weight immediately behind Chelsea. For me, that seems to be an affront to what FIFA is trying to do.
Yeah.
When Barcelona was punished, when Real Madrid was punished, when Atletico Madrid was punished, you didn't have La Liga throwing their toys out of the cot in the manner that the FA has done.
But they're in trouble as well.
Yeah, they exactly. But you don't get La Liga saying that, you know what, we're going to challenge the process from FIFA. I think these clubs, to be honest, have been living above their means, and it's high time that they were held to account. And if Chelsea is to face the music, let them face the music without the FA turning this into a political issue where the FA now starts fighting with FIFA. The burden of proof is on Chelsea to exonerate themselves and to prove that they didn't do the things that they're accused of. When Barcelona faced up to this, they faced the music. They went through the transfer windows, the 2 transfer windows, without actually signing players. And that's what Chelsea is facing right now. If they haven't done anything wrong, it shouldn't be the FA that's fighting, because they know that Chelsea is one of their cash cows. Chelsea is one of the big teams commercially in England now, and of course they don't want to upset Mr. Abramovich, especially with the rumours that he's not happy that he doesn't have a visa and he's looking to sell in the first place. So they know that they need that Chelsea brand in London to be strong, especially with Arsenal not being as great as they are. Tottenham doesn't win things, and after you leave those 2 teams in London, who do you have? You got Fulham, Crystal Palace, Watford on the outskirts of London, and you got West Ham. Those are not brands that you want in the capital city as far as the FA is concerned. That's why they're fighting this.
And that £390,000 fine for the FA, I mean, it's something they can pay easily if they were to pay it, Punj, but it's more them sort of fighting on principle, as it were. But as Mike is pointing out, that principle they're fighting for is leaving sort of mud on their faces, because they now seem by association to be defending Chelsea.
Yeah, you see, it's not about the money, because that money is just too little. It's like one player's salary, you know. But they are just fighting for I think, like you're saying, the principle, they just want to be seen as defending Chelsea so that they protect that brand. They know that Chelsea can actually go down. 3 transfer windows is not a joke. You know, when you look at a team like Chelsea, which is actually crying for renewal. But what they've been doing, they've been greedy throughout these years. I remember we actually had a talk with some other guys about Chelsea. They've got players all over Europe. Young players all over Europe that belong to Chelsea. I think that is greed, if you ask me, because they've got a lot of youngsters that are all over on loan from them. I think this need to stop. I'm happy that FIFA has come down and say that stop this, and they need to pay for it. Stop.
Because of those on loan players that are all over Europe. I mean, you're talking the likes of Tammy Abraham, good talent, Bakayoko, Batshuayi. These are players, Victor Moses, all players, and with 41 players out on loan from one football club.
I actually can't believe this list. It's crazy.
And it's got nothing but quality on that list. And in truth, if they were to sustain, and we understand that Chelsea hasn't appealed their fine or the fact that they will have to sit out those 2 transfer windows, they can actually survive those 2 transfer windows based on the roster that they've got all around Europe.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised that where they're sitting at the moment, that they're actually not looking at this list and saying, jeepers, who can we actually bring back to try and help us this season? So, yeah, look, with 41 players that are out on loan, I don't think Chelsea are really two-faced.
You know what actually impresses me there, and this is one of Chris's, I think, lights. Development. Because to have 41 players out on loan, I think it speaks very positively into your youth setup. It speaks very positively into your scouting as well. To have so many players, and we're not talking about players that are being loaned out to Yeovil Town and to the likes of Reading. There are actually some players who are playing at some big teams.
AC Milan.
You know, AC Milan, Fenerbahce, Atletico Madrid, Leganes, Partizan Belgrade, Atalanta, Borussia Dortmund. So these guys, Chris, are playing in the top tier of European football, and therefore this is a positive for Chelsea.
It's a positive for Chelsea if they do manage to turn this around and bring those players back into Chelsea to play for Chelsea. But at the moment, doesn't look like they particularly want to go in that direction. You have 41 players on loan, and we haven't heard a single whisper about bringing back a particular player, which means they probably have something else that they want to do. But in terms of development in their long term, for the next 3, 4, 5 seasons, they've got some really good pickings if they do bring those players players back into the fold.
Mike, they say that any manager needs 3 transfer windows to cement his style on a team. So you're talking about 2 off-season windows and then 1 mid-season window, usually to get you the team that you need. Right now, old Mauricio Sarri, he's had 2 windows, hasn't he? He's had the off-season one, and he's had this past January one.
Yeah.
So now with 2 that he's got to sit out, it's not exactly the news he wanted to hear. But any one of these players, the likes of Charlie Musonda of this world, can become like absolutely new signings for Chelsea.
Yeah, but are they the players that Mauricio Sarri wants? I don't think so. And I don't think they play in the way that Sarri wants to play. Already he's farmed out the likes of Victor Moses.
Yeah.
Victor Moses was an integral part of Antonio Conte's squad at Chelsea. When Sarri came, he didn't even have a look in. He wasn't even getting a look in off the bench. He wasn't even getting picked at all. So I think this could spell the end of Mauricio Sarri. There's already talk that Roma have offered him the job back in Italy in Serie A and say, listen, the job is ready for you. Should you leave?
You won't put in much of a fight anyway to keep the job at Chelsea.
Should you leave London? There's a job waiting for you, and he might take a look at this with the possibility of losing Eden Hazard as well at the end of this season. Though that should be interesting because Chelsea might not want him to leave.
They can't
afford him to leave. So this could be very interesting. But I think Mauricio Sarri, for me, if they don't get this overturned, I don't think his project is going to succeed at Chelsea.
And doesn't that also then hamper them in their search for a new manager? Because what manager is going to want to take over a job whereby you've got to work with what you've got, see what's on loan, and possibly pick the meat off the bones that are remaining and still have success?
Brendan Rodgers.
And also the possibility of not playing Champions League football.
Yes, exactly. So, Bunj, it's almost a poison chalice. It's becoming worse and worse by the day.
Yeah, it's very delicate. You look at Zinedine Zidane. I heard that they've been talking to him as well. I don't think he would
Frank Lampard.
Yeah, Lampard might come because of his roots, maybe. He's not yet a big coach. He might want to come and build his name there. But the big coaches like Zidane, I don't think they'll come in a situation like this.
Can I just ask? I'm not trying to be funny, but why would Zidane turn down this Chelsea job?
I think he from where he's coming from, he has won a lot, especially with his first season at Chelsea. He does like just tarnishing the good things that what he has won already, to come in there and struggle and probably play mid-table next season. I don't think that's attractive for him. It's a possibility.
I also think that he's coming from a club where Perez basically dictated everything from the top, and he's going to go to another club where Roman Abramovich dictates everything from the top. I don't think he wants to go from the fire into the fire.
But there are not so many jobs available.
There aren't many jobs
at the very top. You know, that's why sometimes that's why I asked the question, because
it's not tricky at Chelsea.
It's not like there are 4 or 5 clubs that are phoning Zidane and say, hey, we want you. Right now he doesn't have a job, and for me, a manager has got to be in the trenches, which is why I'm also very worried about Mourinho.
Yes,
I hope
the more he stays
out, the more he gets out of touch and out of sync with what's happening, because he needs to be constantly sharpening his wits on a week-to-week basis. So for me, that concerns me.
You need to be working. And anyway, Chelsea have got a very, very small matter of the Carabao Cup final this Sunday at Wembley. They take on a tiny team known as Manchester City.
Predictions, guys? Are we doing predictions?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm sure we all agree that Man City is going to win. Let's just hear the scorelines. Barry?
I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1? Alois?
3-1.
Chris?
I'm going to go 5-0.
Oh,
sure. Oh, what a cup
5-0.
What a final.
6-0 last time. It's possible.
2-0 City.
2-0 City. Okay, yeah. I think I'm going to go with 3-0. I think City are going to be too good. Well, there's another big match in England. Mohamed Salah believes that with Liverpool in the position they are in, they cannot just enjoy their season with a dream Premier League title so close. Liverpool take on rivals Manchester United in a blockbuster Super Sunday encounter, with Salah's side trailing leaders Manchester City on goal difference. Salah insists in such a close title race, enjoyment is difficult with so much pressure involved. Let's hear from the Egyptian king.
Honestly, it's something you could feel it because you are still a human being in the end. But for me, it's not a big deal. If I win a game now or 3 weeks ago, it's still the same games, and I want to win each game. But for my myself, I said that in the beginning of the season we'll play for the Premier League, so there is pressure. Also, there is pressure from Man City. And I'm sure, and I remember in November I said there is a pressure and it will be there until end of the season because you play for the Premier League, so you have to accept the pressure, you have to keep it outside the game, outside the field, and when you go home you can take it in your shoulder again, but that's something that has to push you more to work hard and focus in your game.
An honest assessment there from Mohamed Salah about the pressure that he is feeling and his Liverpool teammates are feeling in this title race versus Manchester City. But they'll be up against a side who are looking to do something entirely different. They are looking towards, of course, rebuilding their confidence and making sure that United gets back to the top table of European football. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes that if United beat the Reds at Old Trafford on Sunday, it will be another step towards making a side one worthy of club history.
There has been many comments about this is the big one onto this one. We've been looking forward to this one. Then it's our job to be focusing and channeling all that energy into performance mode when we start the game on Sunday. It's not about emotions. That's not what it's about. I understand that emotion can be brought into it, but we have to stay focused and controlled, but with some fight in us as well.
While the recent games favour Manchester United, Chris, Liverpool winless in their last 8 Premier League games versus United. They've drawn 3 and lost 5, and they haven't gone longer without a win against the Red Devils in league competition since April 1988. Will this count for something in tomorrow's encounter?
I think it does count for something. History always counts for something, and their form also counts for something. But you also take a look at things like Jesse Lingard coming back, possibly. He's been at training this week, and so possibly he could come back. That could work in the favour of Manchester United. And it's those little things. I think in this, you always have to bear in mind that this is a Liverpool side that was sitting at the top for quite a while, for a few weeks, against looking at Manchester City, for example, the best team in the league. And so it's not going to be a walkover for Manchester United, but it's not going to be a walkover for Liverpool either.
It's going to be a very competitive game, Alois, this one, pitting two rivals, two teams that absolutely loathe each other, and two teams that won't want to lose against the other.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Obviously, like the rivalry stretches back to many years ago, and we also have that kind of rivalry here in the studio. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And the one thing that I'm going to enjoy about this game is we now have a Manchester United that is not going to be sitting and defend like the last game that they played against each other. They were the one that was on the back foot trying to pack a pass, but I think this is going to be a blow by blow. They will be giving it to each other, and I'm sure that this is actually a game that is going to be a very high-scoring game.
And of course, Barry, Liverpool with that run of 8 games without victory at Old Trafford. But if you take a look at the recent games they've played, Liverpool winning the last encounter 3-1 at Anfield, comfortable victory. And then the 2 previous encounters before that were draws. So you've got to say, in terms of recently, Klopp seems to be working his Liverpool side to a position where they go to Old Trafford without trepidation, knowing that they can compete with United and possibly beat United in their backyard.
Certainly, and also we saw glimpses of what may trouble this Manchester United side when they played Paris Saint-Germain, and what may trouble this Man United side is a team that retains possession, that moves the ball around, and that's exactly a description of Liverpool. So if the two sides come out in the way that they've been playing, we're in for a very entertaining affair.
Okay, predictions. We certainly have to do predictions for this one. Alois talked about the rivalry in the studio as well. So, Paz, come on. Can you kick us off, Paz?
I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1.
2-1 to Liverpool. Chris?
I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. Oh, that'll be a thriller.
2-1 Manchester United.
2-1 Manchester United. Barry Menandi?
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. Okay. I think I'm going to go with Chris. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 to Liverpool, though. And I think Mohamed Salah. Did you say 2-2?
She said 2-2.
Yes, who say 2-1?
Me.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. I'm going to go with pause. Yeah, I think Mohamed Salah is due a goal, and I think he may be the match winner at Old Trafford. Let's give you the rest of your Premier League fixtures. Cardiff City versus Watford and West Ham United versus Fulham. Those two matches are on tonight. Burnley versus Tottenham Hotspur. Bournemouth versus Wolves. Newcastle United, the Magpies, they take on Huddersfield Town. Leicester City versus Crystal Palace. The Arsenal will entertain Southampton at the Emirates. And of course, the big one on Super Sunday is United taking on Liverpool.
The league that makes football oh so beautiful, where artistry and strokes of genius are the order of any day, where the game is played with a smile and the little master creates his magic.
Lionel Messi!
All the news from the Spanish La Liga on ZiFM Sport.
The goal the world wanted!
Right, Barcelona go into the weekend with a 7-point lead at the top of the La Liga table, but face a stiff test when they visit fourth place Sevilla tomorrow afternoon. Sevilla's form has slipped a little lately, but they are strong on their own turf. Pablo Manchin's side beat Real Madrid 3-0 at the Sanchez Pizjuan earlier this season, and also defeated Barca at home in the Copa del Rey in January. So these are your fixtures. Espanyol up against Huesca, Getafe against Real Vallecano, Celta Vigo are off to Alaves, Athletic Club take on Eibar, Leganes against Valencia, Villarreal take on Atletico Madrid, Real Valladolid host Real Betis, and Real Madrid travel to Levante. Sevilla, Barcelona.
The beautiful game, brought to you by Kwese.
Turn your TV into an entertainment hub and choose what you want to watch with the all-new Kwese Play device. Enjoy seamless entertainment streaming on apps such as Kwese iFlix, Netflix, YouTube, and Al Jazeera. Watch unlimited online entertainment from live sports events, movies, series, top kids shows, and even play games on video channels. Get your Kwese Play device today at zwstore.kwese.com or visit your nearest Econet shop and get it for just $59. Just $59.
Horsepower unmatched. Torque to beat the best. Speed unrivaled. Sleek and easy on the eye. Let's get behind the wheel of football engineered to perfection. The Bundesliga, made in Germany.
Lucien Favre has confirmed in his weekly press conference that Borussia Dortmund captain Marco Reus will miss this weekend's crunch clash against Bayer Leverkusen. Marco Reus suffered a thigh injury in the DFB Pokal tie against Werder Bremen and has missed the last 3 games for Borussia Dortmund. Now, Alois, they're just 3 points ahead of Bayern Munich. Is this the match where we see a turn in the Bundesliga?
Yeah, this boy, Marco Reus, he's my favorite player at Borussia Dortmund, but he's disappointing. He always gets injured when he is needed the most, and this is actually the time that he is needed. But I just hope that the other teammates can come to the party and do the business here. They need this win desperately, because a slip up now is going to be catastrophic.
The rest of your Bundesliga fixtures, Werder Bremen takes on Stuttgart. Mainz will be hosting Schalke 04. Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Wolfsburg. Bayern Munich will take on Hertha Berlin. Freiburg against Augsburg. Fortuna Düsseldorf against Nuremberg. Hannover will take on Eintracht Frankfurt, and Borussia Dortmund against Bayer Leverkusen.
Paolo Rossi, Marco van Basten, George Weah, Gabriel Batistuta, Alessandro Del Piero. Serie A has been home to some of the world's finest strikers. And now they welcome arguably the greatest of them all, Cristiano Ronaldo, the best of Italian football on Z.
Just enough time to give you your Serie A fixtures for this weekend. AC Milan versus Empoli. Torino will take on Atalanta. Frosinone host Roma. Sampdoria will take on Cagliari. Bologna versus Juventus. Juventus will be looking to bounce back after the disappointment of being thumped by Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Chievo versus Genoa. Sassuolo will take on Spal. Parma takes on Napoli. And then in the pick of the fixtures, Lavia Viola. Fiorentina will take on Internazionale, popularly known as Inter Milan. Those are your Serie A fixtures. And of course, we're not going to ask Alois his thoughts on Serie A, but what we... because your thoughts are the same, Alois. I mean,
well reported,
we can take your voice recording of your thoughts from last year, and we can use it on every other show that we ask about Serie A. So we're not going to do that. And there's just enough time for us to say goodbye. And of course, yeah, that's just about it, isn't it, Chris?
There is, but don't forget that you can turn your TV into an entertainment hub and choose what you want to watch with the all-new Kwese Play device. You can enjoy seamless entertainment streaming on apps such as Kwese iFlix, Netflix, YouTube, and Al Jazeera. You can watch unlimited online entertainment from live sporting events, movies, series, top kids shows, and even play games on video channels. Get your Kwese Play device at zwstore.kwese.com, or you can visit your nearest Econet shop for only $59.
Come on the pool. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Menandi, out.
Catch all your favorite sporting action on Kwese iFlix. Download Kwese iFlix today on Google Play Store or Apple App Store and enjoy entertainment on the go. That was The Beautiful Game, brought to you by Kwese iFlix.
Kwese iFlix, entertainment on the go. Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.